Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about the Calder Cup final between the Texas Stars and the Toronto Marlies. Now this is shaping up to be a really fun Calder Cup final. Now the Texas Stars, the team that won the Calder Cup back in 2014, is back in the Calder Cup final again with the Toronto Marlies, who lost in the Calder Cup final back in the 2011-2012 season and are back now in the Calder Cup final after all that time. Now both teams are pretty good, especially Toronto coming into this series with a 9-game winning streak. That's pretty good. So for Texas to match that kind of effort that Toronto has been bringing throughout the playoffs so far, it's going to be hard for them, but I think that they can accomplish that. Now, a big thing throughout this series is going to be the rest beforehand. I mean, the Texas Stars have played a total of 15 games, while the Toronto Marlies have played a total of 13 games. But when you look at that, it is close. But the Texas Stars have played a whopping 9 overtime games out of the 15 games that they've played, and that's just ridiculous, and that's worrisome to me. I feel like that rest could go back to bite them. And it's going to be surprising if Texas doesn't start to feel that fatigue going into this series. I mean, 9 overtime games so far. And a lot of those have gone to double overtime, or some of them are going to triple overtime. These are some crazy games they're playing, and the fatigue will start to come out after them. And with Toronto, they're a fast-paced, great team, so if anybody's going to expose their weakness in both fatigue that they've already played in, it's going to be Toronto. Toronto is the fast team, and for Texas to keep up would be miraculous. For Texas, if they can match Toronto's speed, that would be fantastic, of course, with the games that they played. And obviously, I think they're a slower team than Toronto. Toronto is one of the fastest teams in the AHL, if not the fastest team in the AHL. So if they're able to match that, that'd be fantastic. But Texas is going to have to play a different game. And if they can't really outpace Toronto, since they played all those overtime games, since they've gone all the way here, Toronto is already the faster team. And since Texas doesn't have that rest, it's going to be even harder to match that. But Texas is going to have to do something different. They can still play fast, but they can't really afford to try and be as fast as Toronto, because it's just not going to work out with how many games they played and the rest that they don't have. They can't really afford to play that fast game that Toronto is playing. They're going to have to find something different, another way to win. But Texas has already kind of played that style throughout the playoffs. They get the timely goals. They maybe rely too much on McKenna, their goaltender, but it's been working out for them so far. Of course, getting into the final at least has been successful. They're getting timely goals. They're playing solid defense, and they're doing well. They're getting the timely goals in overtime. Of course, they're good in that department. They're still a fast team, but they're getting those timely goals, and they're able to clutch games out, which is a big thing for them getting this far. So to me, they're already playing a good style to match up against Toronto. Just going to need to get more timely goals, need to keep it a close game, need to play more solid defensively as well, and hope that Mike McKenna can keep playing like the beast that he has. So let's look at both the top 5 scorers for Toronto and Texas to start off. Now let's start with Texas. At number 1, you have Curtis McKenzie leading the pack with 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. Not too shabby in 15 games played. He's played really solid and got a few great goals for the Dallas Stars when they really didn't need it. A couple of great overtime goals as well throughout the run, and he's played very well. Number 2, you have Brian Finn, 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. Number 3, you have Rue Pines, the Beast, at 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points. And you got Dowling at 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points. And Jason Dickinson at 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. Now, starting with Toronto, you got Andreas Johnson, who has 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points. He's leading the pack, and he only has 9 games played. He's leading the Toronto Marlies in points, and he hasn't even played 10 games yet, and that's miraculous, but he's already leading the charge there. At number 2, you have Trevor Moore at 4 goals and 9 assists for 13 points. He's had a good AHL run in 2. And you got Smith, who has 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points. Not bad for Ben Smith either. You got Carl Grundstrom, who has 6 goals, 4 assists for 10 points. Not too shabby as well. He's had a good run too. And last but not least, you have Miro Aaltonen, who has 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. Now going on to the goaltenders, where both of them have been stellar, especially Mike McKenna, who supports a .940 save percentage. He's been just brilliant throughout the playoffs, and he's shown himself that he's obviously at least an AHL starter. He's done fantastic there with 197 goals against average, not shabby at all. He's doing fantastic on the run with the Texas Stars. On the Toronto Marlies side of things, you got Garrett Sparks, who has a .926 save percentage. Not bad at all. It's great, even when compared to Mike McKenna. It's a little bit less or so, but still great save percentage too. And a 1.96 goals against average. Still fantastic numbers. Not Mike McKenna numbers right there, but with Garrett Sparks, he's still playing fantastic in the AHL and has done throughout this whole season. For Mike McKenna, I think it's safe to say that his save percentage will go down at least a little bit. With Toronto, they're a high-speed, high-scoring team, so I think it's obviously going to go down. Texas can play solid defense, but it's still going to go down. At 940 save percentage, it's not really sustainable. On the other hand, Garrett Sparks, I think, could stay around that save percentage. He's played fantastic throughout the playoffs, but I think he'll stay steady there. But overall, looking at the teams, I still think that Toronto has the advantage, both offensively and defensively. They're a lot more solid. They have a lot more players that have played NHL time, and a lot of those guys have that experience both in the NHL and the AHL. They got a great mixture of youth and veterans, and it's still the same with Texas, but Toronto pretty much has a perfect blend, and we've seen that throughout the regular season, and of course on the run to the Calder Cup final. They really have a great blend there. However, Texas, the biggest thing is keep doing what they're doing. Keep getting timely goals. Mike McKenna, if he keeps playing well, that'll definitely propel them. They just need to play a lot more solid defense, allow a little bit less shots on Mike McKenna, because of course there's going to be higher quality shots because they're coming from Toronto people that have played fantastic. And Mike McKenna, if he keeps playing well, I think the Texas Stars will have a much bigger chance. He just needs to keep playing solidly. If the Texas Stars can keep eating clutch goals and keep going, I think that they'll have a lot more chance, and they could win this series. I don't think that it will happen, but I do think that Texas, if they keep strong with Toronto, they don't have to play the same game as them, but if they keep strong and keep it close, they definitely have a chance every single night. Now, of course, a lot of people have Toronto as their favorite, and understandably so. They're a powerhouse team. They got a lot of offensive explosions there. A lot of guys that have played NHL time. They got a lot of great youth there, and it's really, really welcome. It's really, really great to see how Toronto has developed both in their AHL team and the NHL team, and it's to be expected why they're the favorites and how they've gone so far. So, for predictions, the ultimate jinxing. Graviteh writes, and for me, I even as a Dallas Stars fan who supports the Texas Stars, of course, I gotta go with Toronto in 5. I feel like Toronto is just the powerhouse team. They're just too good right now. In fact, I just think that Texas might have it close throughout the whole series, but I feel like Toronto will be able to squeak out games, will be able to get close games. I think they're just a little bit better than that Texas in every single category. I just think that Toronto's more prepared for this, and they're ready for the run. And while Texas Stars already have a Calder Cup in their belt, it would be Toronto's first Calder Cup in their franchise history, which I think would propel them. But again, I think it could be a close series. I'm saying either Toronto to 5 or 6. I feel like Toronto will be able to just get it out the series. I want Texas to win. I obviously do want Texas to win, but I just don't think it's really happening this time. They haven't had the magic so far, but I think that Toronto will just be able to get out games and be able to clutch out games the same way that Texas has the whole playoffs. Now, if I could watch the AHL games, that would be nice because I would want to watch them, but they're crazy expensive. If they could get less expensive, that'd be great, but it's going to be a fun series to watch. If you're able to see it, that's great, but it's going to be a good series. It's going to be a close series, hopefully, but I just think that Toronto will be able to squeak out the win and be able to get that Calder Cup final, and will be able to win this series. I feel like Toronto just has the edge in pretty much every category. I think that they're just an overpowering team against Texas, and even though Texas has a good team, I just don't think it's good enough to get past that Toronto team, which has obviously proven themselves. So while I'm proud for the Texas Stars of getting this far, I think that their road will end in this series. But for Toronto, it'll still be a close series, so don't get too cocky. Anything could happen. Of course, this is just my predictions, so we'll see. But it's going to be a fun series to watch if you're watching it, and hopefully it's a good one. And for me, supporting the Texas Stars, I'm hoping that they win. But for Toronto, I wouldn't be completely mad. Since I do like the Toronto Maple Leafs, I wouldn't be completely mad if the Marlies won. But I'm pretty excited for what Texas has done so far, and I'm hoping that they can get over the hump of that Toronto team. Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me down below what you think of this series. Who do you think will win between Texas and Toronto? Join the Discord server down in the description below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.